Well, good morning. This is Dave Rosa from Flat Fee Tax Relief. Happy to have you join me this morning. As you can see, it's a bright, lovely day here in Clearwater, Florida. For those of you who aren't familiar with us, Flat Fee Tax Relief is a coast-to-coast IRS help company. What do? We help people who have problems with the IRS, such as tax levies, tax liens, unfiled tax returns, uh, needing help with currently uncollectible status, innocent spouse, penalty abatements, and of course, settlements. That would be an offer in compromise. But today we're going to talk about tax levies, particularly on your wages. A lot of people understand it to be called an IRS wage garnishment. However, the IRS doesn't use the word garnishment, they use the word levy. But for us and our purpose here, we're going to use the word garnishment. Now, what does that mean? That is an IRS order to seize your paycheck. Okay, I'll repeat that. The IRS can seize, and they will seize your paycheck for past due debt. All right. Now, they have to send out notices, of course. They're not obligated to have you receive them, but they're obligated to mail them out. So they can use any address that they wish that they have on file for you. It goes out, and voila, they have the authority to levy you. So what happens? They send an order to levy to your job. Your employer is required to abide by the levy order. Now, the IRS will take an amount from your check. Now, you might find out about it, your employer will tell you, or maybe they don't because they use some kind of third-party service for their payroll. They'll send you a notice, but you may not get it right away. Next thing you know, you think you have a direct deposit into your bank account and you have nothing. Okay? I can guarantee you, you'll be left without enough money to pay your rent, your car payment, go out, enjoy yourself, things like that, your health insurance. All of these things are going to be neglected because you won't have the money to pay them. You'll be left with little to no money, which is the object of the lesson. The IRS wants to teach you a lesson not to screw with them. Okay? And that's the quickest way to grab your attention, to grab your paycheck. Now, some people think, I'll quit my job and I'll go find another job. The IRS will find you. Okay? They're not going anywhere. They'll find you again, do the same thing, and leave your job. Why leave your job? It's not necessary. Okay, so that's a bad idea. Next thing is I'll have my employer ignore it. Can't do that because then the employer is liable for your tax debt. And what employer is going to allow that to happen? Okay, so that's another bad idea. Another idea is I'll quit my job for a little while and then I'll come back. Okay, if you work it out with your employer. That's a bad idea also. The IRS will just make them rather angry. You'll end up with a revenue officer. He'll come down like a ton of bricks on you and your employer. Another bad idea. What's a better idea is to resolve the issue. Now, you can resolve the issue through a couple of methods. One is you can enter into an installment agreement with the IRS. The IRS may require you to have the money taken out of your paycheck each and every time. Yeah, it'll pay the bill, but all the penalties and the interest and everything else, you're going to have to pay them. Or you can set up a payment plan and take it out of your bank account every month. You can do that too. Okay. And the second thing is you can get placed into currently not collectible status. Now, what does that mean? That means the IRS deems you to be unable to pay the bill. However, the bill will still stand. It's not going anywhere. And they can pull that currently not collectible status at any time they please. Usually, it's 12 to 24 months, and then they'll ask you to do a new financial, okay? And then, depending on your financial situation, they keep you in or they kick you out. Now, if they kick you out, they come back at you, okay? Currently not collectible status, they'll also file a tax lien to protect their position. All right, so you have that. And the third way is to submit a offer and compromise and settle your bill. Resolve it altogether. All right. Now you got to be eligible and qualified. What is eligible and qualified? One, you need to have your last 6 tax returns filed. Okay. If you don't, you need to get them done in order to do an offer and compromise or to do anything for that matter. Secondly, you need to owe them more than $10,000. That's the cutoff. $9,000, can't settle it. $10,000, yes, you can. Okay, so when you hear qualified and eligible, those are the 2 main things. All right. Now, you don't have to be destitute to be qualified for an offer and compromise. You simply have to not, okay, you simply must be unable to pay your tax bill after paying all of your allowable expenses. I'll give you an example. Say you make $4,000 a month, gross. Go by the gross number. Okay, and your rent is $1,800. Okay, let's subtract 18 from 4,000. That leaves you with 2,200. Okay, say you got a car payment of $400. So we're going to subtract the 400 from the 1,800, from the 2,200, and that gives you 1,800. Then another 200 for upkeep of that car. Now you're down to 1,600, right? How about health insurance? Maybe you pay $160 a month. All right, we'll say 150. Keep the numbers easy in my head. All right. Now you're down to 1,650. Now you're down to 1,450, right? You haven't even paid taxes yet. You haven't had Social Security taken out. No, nothing, right? State income taxes, no, nothing. You're down to $1,600. How about utilities? Maybe you pay $300 a month. Okay, subtract that out. Now you're down to $1,150. Food and clothing, you're single, subtract 700. What's that leave you? Not enough money to live on. Okay, if you have to pay your tax bill, you're qualified for an offer and compromise. Okay, it has to be put in the package, has to be presented in the right way. Okay, all your ducks have to be in a row. Okay, do the process, should be able to settle your bill. Now, if you're a rich fat cat, offer and compromise is not the way to go. They're not going to approve it. Now, you can stall them for a little while. It may irritate them. Say you're waiting for your ship to come in. You're waiting on a deal or something, and you want to stall the IRS. You can use the offer and compromise to do that. Okay, a little cat and mouse game. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, but you're not going to succeed in settling your bill. All right, so back to the original topic of conversation, which is the IRS wage garnishment. Okay, so the wage garnishment, if you called us and you have a levy, now if you just want the levy to be released, we're going to do a couple of things. Enter into an installment agreement. That doesn't mean you've got to make the payments, okay? But it will stop the levy. If we get you into an installment agreement, it'll buy you 3 months of time. And then You may make the payment, you may not make the payment, you'll default. Now, sometimes we use that as a tactic to do two things: stop the levy, get a release that day. Okay, we're famous for doing one day, getting a 1 day release on a wage levy. That's how we made our name. We've been doing it for 20 years, for crying out loud. But anyway, having said that, we put you into, we call up the IRS, make sure that you don't have any unfiled tax returns. If you do, we promise them to get them completed. We'll plead, we'll beg, all right? We'll grovel to get them to agree to release the levy before the tax filings. If not, if that doesn't work, we'll expedite your tax filings, get them done as quickly as possible so that we get a release on your wage garnishment, okay? So we call up the IRS and we agree to an installment agreement. Theoretically, that's what we do, okay? This will buy you 3 months of time. The IRS has to input it. They send you a notice saying that there's going to be a levy, not a levy, but an installment agreement. And then that's my doggy, okay? Stop it! Stop it right now! Stop. Get over there. Go. Over there. Get up. Get up. Stop. 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 Bitch.